From one driver crashing into his opponent on purpose to the moment where a driver crossed the line.
He's saying, I'm going to the stewards.
These are the most disrespectful moments in history.
Car dragging along the Arco too.
Starting with Nikita Mazepin, the name synonymous with controversy. From reckless moves
Very much so. Oh, no. You don't want to see that.
to blatantly blocking rivals.
What Mazepin is doing, honestly?
He's made a name for himself in the worst way possible. And it was all proven right when even his own teammate was done with him. Cause when Mick Schumacher was trying to overtake,
Listen.
What the is that, honestly? Seriously?
yup, that happened. But it's just the beginning. Mazepin's disrespectful behavior is just the tip of the iceberg in this video. Take Michael Schumacher for example. Sure, he's one of the greats, arguably even the greatest race car driver of all time. But in 1997, not so much. I feel this disaster could have easily been avoided. Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve were fighting for the championship. Throughout the season, things remained close but fair. But in the last race, when Villeneuve was trying to overtake for the title, Schumacher did this. Schumacher tried to crash into Villeneuve, as he was 1 point ahead going into this race. But obviously, his plan didn't work. Due to this, Schumacher was kicked out of the championship. He also did the same thing in '94, again in the last race. Anywho, things got even more disrespectful, especially when one driver definitely crossed the line. But first, you gotta check this out. Lewis Hamilton has also been in some pretty serious moments, but nobody thought he'd have a controversial moment with his own friend. Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton once used to be very close friends, but I guess things change when you become teammates. And since both were talented, it brought out the disrespectful racing moment that shocked everyone, especially when some funny business got involved. At the 2014 Monaco qualifying, Nico was on pole, but Hamilton was setting a faster lap. He was already 2 tenths ahead going into Morabao. But then things changed.
Rosberg made a bit of a mistake, locked brakes up and went down the slip road. That meant the yellow flags came out.
This destroyed Hamilton's lap, thus settling for P2, while Rosberg took the pole position. Needless to say, Hamilton was not happy.
Yellow turn 5.
That was very good of him. Very good.
Till today, it's unclear whether Rosberg did it on purpose or was a genuine error. But regardless, things started to get bad between them. And it went from bad to worse, when in the future race, they crossed the line. But let them get to that race first, and we'll get back to them. Till then, you gotta check this out. When another racing legend, Juan Pablo Montoya, got sent into Kevin Harvick in turn 1, let's just say the two were not happy. The race was still going on, and these guys got into it right there on the track.
With his car. Now they're going to get out here and have some words. Remember, Harvick thinks that Montoya just ran into him, but remember, as we showed you, it was Martin Truex Jr.
Neither one of these guys are happy here.
Well, that's NASCAR for you folks. Now, before I show you how Rosberg and Hamilton crossed the line, you have to see what happened between these two legends.
Senna's looking for, and he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
The 1989 Japanese Grand Prix. Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost. Both of these drivers caused huge controversy in F1 history. See, these two weren't just racing for a title, they were racing to settle a score. And it was Suzuka where everything boiled over. Senna, desperate to overtake Prost at the final chicane, saw his chance and went for it. But the issue was, Prost wasn't giving in. So, I guess you already know what happened
And if
next.
Prost comes up to any of them, this is the opportunity that Senna's looking for, and he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
Now, the collision might not seem something out of the ordinary. And that's right, it wasn't. Cause the disrespectful thing was what happened after the race. Since both crashed, Prost thought he won the championship, since he was ahead of Senna in points going into the race. So Prost, believing the championship was his, retired on the spot. But Senna kept going. Senna managed to restart his car, and by driving beautifully, even went on to win the race, only to get disqualified later.
that he will for sure be disqualified for receiving a push start there.
After the race, Ayrton Senna was disqualified for re-entering the track incorrectly, claiming the chicane had been cut when he rejoined. This disqualification handed Prost the championship. And that wasn't all. The FIA not only disqualified Senna, but also imposed a $100,000 fine and suspended his super license for 6 months as well. This incident made things even worse between the two drivers. Senna accused the FIA, then headed by Frenchman Jean-Marie Balestri, of favoritism toward Prost, who was also French, which obviously created huge controversy in the entire racing community as well. What do you say about this? Was Senna's disqualification fair? But now, here's what happened between Rosberg and Hamilton. Since things were already heated between them, it all came bursting down at the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix, when literally on lap 1, this happened.
Good start from Carlos Sainz. He's ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Round turn 3 we go. And it's Nico Rosberg and Hamilton's onto the grass. And Hamilton's had a massive crash. And he's crashed into his teammate. The two Mercedes come together as Hamilton...
Rosberg pushed Hamilton off track. As a result, the crash ended their race and made it clear that their friendship was over. Mercedes was also furious with both of them. The fastest car by a mile and still no points, all because of a personal feud. Now that's some waste. Man, imagine Toto Wolff's face. But now that we've reached the top 2 disrespectful moments, buckle up, things are gonna go much more insane. During the race at the Edmonton Indy Circuit, Castroneves was leading near the end. He was about to win the race, but then he got a penalty.
Castroneves leads on a restart, but is penalized for blocking his teammate Will Power into turn number 1.
Castroneves was penalized for blocking Penske teammate Will Power while defending his position on a restart.
He did not block.
IndyCar officials deemed this defensive move too aggressive, and he was issued a drive-through penalty. Castroneves, feeling the penalty was unjust, refused to serve it, which ultimately led to a post-race blow-up. After crossing the finish line in the first place, officials didn't allow him to take the win, handing it to Power instead. This made Castroneves fuming, so fuming that unfortunately things went over the line.
Elio showed uncharacteristic emotion, first confronting IZOD technical director Kevin Blanche.
Right now.
Right. Charles Burns, one of the security people that worked for the IZOD IndyCar Series.
This shows how motorsport can fuel emotions, especially when a championship is at stake. Castroneves did apologize later, but clearly this was way over the line. Under no circumstances, and I mean absolutely no circumstances, should this happen in racing. Even fans on track were disgusted by it. But I guess you're not considered a fan until you get some merch. So, to get any latest caps, jackets, or awesome quality racing t-shirts, click the link in the description below, cause they're the best prices ever. So, check it out by clicking the link below. And now, at number 1, here's the most disrespectful moment. And I feel for most of you, this will come as no surprise.
Is that possible? Stroll is not looking where he's going. He completely shunted into my car. I mean, seriously.
When Lance Stroll comes to the track, every driver enjoys it. Everybody's favorite.
Need to know who's going to come out in front as we see Lance Stroll hitting the barrier and going over the curb.
The icon. Future multiple times world champion Lance Stroll has shown us many of his talents. And yes, future world champion. That will happen. Even if their own chief technology officer has to drive his effing car. I mean, we should be blessed to see his driving skills. But the most incredible moments happen when he's dealing with his own team.
I hope that man's okay. Ted, you were down there.
Now, to be fair, his brakes were cold. But still, talent. And with this unbelievable talent, he showed us his best skills at the Qatar GP. Stroll had a tough qualifying session.
Here, no shit, Sherlock.
Failing to make it out of Q1, qualifying 17th on the grid. But for some reason, this made Lance so angry that when he got back into the pits, he did this.
Clearly not happy with the way things had gone out on the track.
Just for the record, his personal trainer was just doing his job. He wanted Lance to not have any penalties. But, once again, talent. But Lance didn't just stop there. He then gave his beautiful insights about his qualifying session as well.
From you on the TV screens, this obviously means so much to you. What are your emotions right now?
Yeah.
Okay. What is not clicking for you behind the wheel at the moment?
I don't know.
And how does this change your mindset for the weekend? Is it now a test session? Are you going to go for it in the sprint?
Keep driving.
Keep driving, he said. Keep driving. You know what? I think he should keep driving, but as far away from any racing track as possible.